Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Moutasem Al-Hameedy for Rashidoon.com. Today I have a very important topic to share with you. A topic that is so dear to me that it has helped me steer my life in the right direction. And the way I want to title it, or the title I want to give to it, is actually Tell Your Own Story. If you're searching for meaning in life, and actually every human being is, okay, if you want value in life, if you feel deep down, deep inside you, that you are created for a noble purpose, for a reason Allah brought you to this world, and you don't settle for something that is average, then probably this video is for you. Okay, a lot of people struggle in life. They try to find happiness, they try to find peace, they try to find meaning, they try to make their existence meaningful. They're trying to be of value to themselves and the world, and they don't see any value, they don't see any point in life without achieving this, or without fulfilling that kind of or meeting that feeling inside them. If you are that kind of person, I really commend you and congratulate you, because it seems that your heart is alive, is in a good state, and your fitra, your natural disposition, your human nature is still in good shape and still intact. So a lot of people, they maybe succeed in life, they succeed in their career and their profession, or they make lots of money and they make a family and they build some kind of legacy, etc. But they don't feel satisfied, they don't feel fulfilled. And that's because the intrinsic need in every human being to make life meaningful. Because we are created to live this life and make it a springboard to the hereafter, a springboard to paradise with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone at some level intuitively knows this, but people don't let their intuition speak to them. They suppress that kind of voice, they push it down because they want to fit in, they just want to please people, they just want to be part of this society, they want the attractions of this world, and they forget that Allah created us in this life, and He put inside us the need to live it. We need to live this life fully. There's an intrinsic need within each one of us to live this life fully, to make your life meaningful. I've struggled with this for all my life, and I've been through different situations and different stages, trying to do things and trying to participate in da'wah, trying to participate in charity, and trying to do my own business and working for other people. And I did journalism, and I did training, and I did IT work and website stuff, and I did I did research, and I did youth work, and I did my own business, export and import and all that stuff, and I did teaching. And all the while I was still searching. I felt there was something missing and I needed to find it. Yeah, I was doing some great things, some good things, but there is something inside, there's a voice inside me telling me that's not your full potential. There is something you're more capable of doing. And it wasn't necessarily the exact things that I was doing, but it was the spirit. It was the reason I was doing these things. And then what came to me, the way I managed to put it together, and then things started to take a huge turn into the right direction. I started to have more sense of responsibility towards my life, towards my conditions, towards how I spend my time and my resources. And I started to have a sense of fulfillment about what I do. I started to find meaning even in my sleep, even in my food, even in my everyday interactions with human beings. Everything assumed meaning and value. And then all of a sudden, life started to move to the next level. And I started to connect with people as I never did before. Just because I started speaking from my heart, I started being myself. Because I realized social conditioning has taken me away from who I was meant to be, from the way Allah created me. And that's what I need you to think about when it comes to thinking about your own life. You need to find your own uniqueness. You need to find your own authentic voice. I'm going to give you 3 steps. They're not easy steps. I don't promise that they're going to be easy. They actually take a lifetime to fulfill them. And they are not linear. They're actually, interrelated. And they keep, each one of these steps keeps going on and should remain active till the last day for you in this world. The first step that I would say is discover your own story. Know exactly who you are. Find out your true passion. What did Allah create you to be? What did Allah put in you? What are the talents? What are the strengths? What are the orientations that Allah placed in you? What are the things you're attracted to? What are the things that give you meaning in life? What kind of life gives you meaning? Maybe you could look at things that you could do. Things that you did in the past, in your childhood, in your teenage years, or in your adulthood. And you felt a tremendous sense of meaning when you engaged in these things. Or maybe it's some kind of personality. A person that have done something, okay, and you admire them so much, and you just feel there's so much resemblance between you and that person. This might be a strong clue as to who you are. A lot of us, actually yourself, your natural disposition, your true authentic self keeps screaming. It's your own voice, the voice of your heart. It keeps telling you things about what you should do and what route you should take in life. This voice keeps calling upon you, but most of us have been conditioned to just turn away from that voice because a lot of us are scared to listen to it. Because it means changing the status quo, changing things, not settling for what you are now, breaking your pattern and your routine, changing a lot of the things that you have become attached to in this world, but they don't add any value to your life. So listening to this voice could be scary. And sometimes you might live a very chaotic and busy life that you don't have the peace of mind and the quiet to listen to this voice. So take moments of quiet to listen to this voice. Listen to your intuition. What does it tell you? What is it trying to tell you? It tells you about your passion. It tells you about your aspirations. It tells you about the things that give meaning to your life. There are things you just feel they're so natural to you that they are just so much associated and linked to who you are, to your authentic identity. Once you see them, you see, oh, that's for me. Oh, that's who I am. And that's what I want to do. So this is what you need to, this is the first step. Discover your own story. Find out what your true story is. What are your talents? What's your passion? What did Allah want from you when He created you in the first place? He put that in your fitrah, in your natural disposition. And somehow you know where to go. Somehow you know what to do. I'm not talking about, whether to become a good Muslim or not. This is a given. I'm just talking about what route to take to Allah. For example, the companions. Look at the companions. Khalid ibn al-Walid chose because he was a natural military commander or leader. He realized that in himself. That was his own story. He didn't spend most of his time studying and relating hadith and all that stuff, which was great. But he realized that this is my area. This is what Allah designed me for. And I know that the best investment in this life is actually to capitalize on this, is to invest in this and use it. And that's what he did. Abu Hurairah realized it was hadith for him. It was relating hadith and science of the deen and teaching the people. So he didn't spend most of his life fighting and leading armies. No, he spent most of his time teaching and learning and traveling and teaching people about Islam and about the Prophet ﷺ and about his hadith. So you need to find out your route that Allah designed you to follow. And this takes a lot of discipline. This takes a lot of introspection, a lot of clarity with yourself. If you get to do this, and inshallah in future videos, we'll talk about this kind of clarity, this kind of finding out who you are, what your true essence is. What did Allah make you of? You need to find out about this. And inshallah, as I said, in future videos, we'll talk about this in depth. If you get to know, if you get a good sense of who you are and what you're made of and what your passions are, if you find out your true story, comes here step number 2. Step number 2 is to be authentic, is to live your true story. Don't try to live someone else's story. Don't spend your life following someone else's dreams. Don't live your life trying to please and appease people and trying to fit in. You lose yourself. Be true to yourself. Live your own story, the story Allah has given you. There is so much potential in you. And if you live authentic to your own true nature, everything will magically change in your life. Things you touch will turn into gold just because you've remained true to yourself. And I'm not saying this route is easy. I'm not saying everything is going to be a piece of cake. It's challenging and it's going to be difficult. But there's, any other option is going to be more difficult. There'll be more pain, there'll be more agony, there'll be more failure, there'll be more emptiness and vacuum in your heart if you follow any other route and any other path. So there are challenges in this way, but it's the best route to take. It's the best path to take, and it takes courage. And most people are dissuaded away from that goal or from that path because of their fear. Fear that shaitan has put in their hearts. Because shaitan doesn't want them to reach their best, but Allah wants you to reach your full potential, to live life fully and make the best out of it to reach paradise. That's the only way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you get to do this, live authentically, live your true story, and practice what Allah has put in you, bring out the treasures that Allah has created in you. If you do this to a satisfactory level, you can move on to the third step. Third step is tell the world about your story. Tell your story to the world. You tell it with your actions, you tell it with your words, you tell it with your presence, you tell it with your attitude, with your values, with your legacy, with your writings, your behavior becomes storytelling. Everything you do and everything you don't do becomes expressive about who you are. So you become fully expressive. You express yourself fully, but you're expressing your true self because you followed the first and the second steps, finding out your true story, living your true story, and telling your own story. That's the time when you start transforming life. It's in the third stage, because at that moment, you will be an inspiration. Just because you're living life fully, there is magic to it. Somehow people will realize, will see it in your eyes, they will hear it in your voice, they'll recognize it in your presence. It's just when you live your true story and you tell it to the world, just because you want to benefit them. That's when you create your contribution. This is when your contribution and the goodness that you want to spread in the world reaches its apex. And that's the goal. That should be the goal of every one of us. And to me, that's the meaning of living life fully. I'm speaking to you about this, but I'm not necessarily in the last stages. I'm not necessarily in an advanced stage. I'm still in the process and I'm doing my best. But even with the first baby steps that you follow in this kind of methodology, in this kind of pathway, you'll start to reap the fruits. First of all, you'll be more satisfied with yourself. You'll be more in connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as I said, everything in your life will start to assume meaning. Everything is as simple and as basic as sleeping and eating and interacting with people and even resting or even having some leisure time. Everything will assume great meaning because you do everything for a purpose and you live a life of purpose. So try to practice this as much as you can. And as I said, there's no other way to a fulfilling life other than doing this kind of thing, other than living your true story and telling it to the world. And that's why Allah created us in the first place, is to live this. And if we stay true to our nature, it will take us to the deen of Allah. It will tell us to obey the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to follow the example of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then we will fulfill what Ibn Taymiyyah said 700 years ago. He said, there is paradise in this world. Anyone who fails to enter it will not be able to enter paradise in the hereafter. And that's to live fully, to living true to yourself and true to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's the only time your life will be meaningful. I hope you have found this beneficial. And like I said, it doesn't come about so easily. You need to struggle, and the beauty and the sweetness and the meaning comes with the struggle. An easy life is a lazy life, and it doesn't give you anything. It will be an empty life. Fill your life with challenges and struggles and striving, and that's where the beauty, that's where the sweetness comes about. Because we are designed to work in this world, to do something, to achieve something, to face the challenges. That's how we're designed. And when we stay true to our nature, we'll be happy. We'll develop our sense of well-being. So just share this with the people you know and try to practice it as much as you can. Maybe someone who hears it from you benefits more than you. You will get the reward, inshallah. But my advice is try your best to live and stay true to the nature according to which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you. And then inshallah we'll share more wisdom with other videos and other practical tips and tactics that you can benefit from. Don't forget to like the video, spread it, share it with your friends, and inshallah we'll have more videos to benefit from, and hopefully help others improve the quality of their lives and the quality of their relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I leave you in peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.